Did you know that Black Lives Matter was an organization that was founded by a bunch of fat black lesbians who hate God, who hate the family, order of the family, who hate the unborn child, and they admitted, at least one of them, that they're a Marxist group and they've been trained to do what they're doing. Did you know it was founded by some fat black lesbians?
Wow. So first of all,
did you know that?
What we're not going to do is insult folks, right?
Well, they claim to be lesbians and they're fat and they're black. Well, I didn't do it.
So.
But did you know that it was founded by them?
I personally know them, right? So we're going to stop that part.
And you knew that before they joined. What made you join, knowing that? Because normally men don't follow women like that.
So what you been up to, buddy?
A whole lot of nothing. I don't know. Riding dirt bikes. Well, singular. Riding a dirt bike.
Riding a dirt bike up the
Riding my dirt bike.
Up the shoulder of Route 50.
Yeah, just getting lost in the woods. Not lost. It's kind of scary when you get lost, actually.
Getting lost in the woods, yeah.
It's creepy. But I generally know where I am, kind of. But yeah, just finding new. I just go down random back roads and I look for a trail and then I just get lost. Just fucking fuck off in the woods, and usually I'm on private property. So it's pretty cool.
Have you had anybody like chase after you with like a gun yet?
No.
That's good.
Like when I had the Hawk, it was like 2 years ago. I was deep in the woods on some like state land, and I stumbled upon like this fucking, like you see tree stands out there and you're like whatever, but this thing was like a sniper tower. Like it looked like straight out of fucking a war movie, and there was no one there. Or no, there was actually a quad there. I think there was someone hunting.
Okay. And
I immediately turned around and like peeled out, but I was just picturing like the sniper guy from Saving Private Ryan just like fucking drilling me in the back. I don't think someone actually would. You might just get like yelled at. Probably. I don't think someone would murder you for like ruining their hunting day. Hopefully not.
There was this one day that they opened the gates on Bailey Road because the one side of Bailey Road is the preserve. So there's all these dudes that park their pickup trucks on that straight part, like when you first go in there. Yep. And they're all in their camo and like orange shit, and like they're all just like waiting for 8 a.m. to walk into the woods when it's like legal for them to start their day. And I'm out there like high as balls with the dog, just like
everyone
nerds.
Yeah,
like,
everyone stares at you.
Dogs barking. I'm like fucking like, how's it going, guys? Like
completely ruined the hunt,
dude. Actually, I don't fucking care. You guys have a dumb hobby. Like, fucking.
Dude, I've gotten those same stares. I used to go through the game preserve all the time over here, and it was bird season or something. And the hawk was really loud. Like it was like stupid. Basically, didn't have a muffler. Just, every single like old dude. Every geezer that was out there on Sunday was just fucking grilling me, dude. And they're all holding rifles, and I'm like, I'm doing the fucking game preserve wave, like, hey, how you doing?
What's up? It's not that I'd I don't mean like hunting is stupid or whatever. I just mean that like if I really wanted to, I saw a 4-point buck in my backyard yesterday, and I could just go out there and shoot it if I had
legal.
Fuck it, it's my property.
They just tug ho.
It's my property. What are they gonna fucking come and tell me? Hey, you
firing
can't
a gun within city limits. Well, it all
what
depends
city?
That's the line you hear in fucking TV
200 feet from your property or from your from a occupied residency. That's it.
I think you could get away with it with like a bow.
No, well, yeah, that too. I could go get a crossbow or whatever.
I don't think you could just be like bucking off shotguns in your backyard. Maybe
who's gonna?
There's a huge dispute in like Palermo, whatever, between like Seville and Marmora.
Right.
I think it's a cop. He's in like a fucking neighborhood, like a whatchamacallit, a fucking cul-de-sac.
Okay.
And he has like a makeshift gun range set up in his backyard. And he's just popping off for like several hours a day. And it's not illegal.
No, that's very
apparently
fucking...
you make a fair point.
Well, no, just I was always told that like when I had like...
He hasn't been shut down yet. And it's always on like the... Or not always, but I saw this whole big dispute on the interwebs about it.
When I always disclose it to my my coworker who lives in Petersburg, he always tells me that you just got to be 200 feet away from a residency, and like you can't be shooting.
You couldn't just go on your back porch.
No, like you could. Like there's people that do, and it's very hard for you to prove. Like unless you're just like spitting out thousands of shell casings like onto your fucking lawn and then being like, I didn't do anything, and it's like, well, clearly
it all depends on just if someone reports you.
Yeah, like here I
doubt
had
anyone
plenty
would.
of time going back into my fucking property, still on my property, shooting into my property, not going to get too specific about it, but I mean, that's the nature of it. And like, you can do, nobody said
But
dick.
if someone reported you and there's like a blood trail and then I don't know, you wouldn't go to jail. It would just be like a fucking,
It wouldn't even
you
be.
would be like, what? Not poaching. Hey. What's it?
It's hunting without a license.
Yeah, it's not
like
poaching, but it's like
it's
it would
hunting
be
without
like an illegal
you
Bambi kill.
No, you're hunting without a license, which is like I think like a federal offense. But it's a federal offense if you're on like a wildlife preserve with hunting without a license. Like you woke up that day, put on your gay camo, went out into the woods with deer fucking piss on your boots, sat in a hole, thumbing your fucking buddy in the ass all day just for a fucking doe to walk by, and you blasted in the face. Like the whole philosophy.
You're really oversimplifying
No,
this.
the whole philosophy
I think hunting's a lot more challenging.
No, the whole
than that.
philosophy of hunting is fucking retarded. Like at this,
Not at
this,
all.
no, at this level. If you want to go out into the wilderness with like your hands or like a tool you made yourself, a bow you
You're really
built,
going here.
I don't fucking.
You're going here.
I don't fucking think that you should. It's not that I don't think you should be able to shoot shit. It's like no, by all means, go shoot shit. But I'm just saying, it's like there's nothing impressive to me about you sitting out in the woods with a gun all day with a telescopic lens and a high-powered rifle. I'm not impressed that you fucking hit a buck between the fucking eyes. There's.
I
Nothing,
know there's some skill involved as far as like tracking the animal or picking the right spot.
That's
and all
understandable.
That, but I totally get where you're coming from, but I think there is with hunting and fishing, like there is skill involved, but there is a lot of luck. Like you got to also hope that a fucking deer walks by. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
but I mean that goes with anything.
Well,
There's luck involved in any sport.
Well, let me ask you this: do you get impressed by professional bass fishermen or like people like that? Are you impressed by that? Like, or do you just think it's like a sport?
I used to like watching it when I was a kid, when I used to be into fishing, but I don't know if I'm like impressed.
That's what I mean.
It's a weird. I'm not impressed, but I'm not gonna watch it.
Like that's what I mean. Like somebody that.
But people, I love NASCAR, and people would shit on that and be like, they're just driving in circles, and it's like
there's a whole bunch of nuance to NASCAR that's like you can drive a car, and then driving a car does not equate to being a NASCAR driver. But then again, like me living here with a gun and a deer wandering through my backyard and me going and shooting it doesn't equate me to a hunter. That just means that like I'm a fucked up person.
Yeah, but I think
Not
there's
like
certainly
fucked up,
like
but-
talented people in those fields. Like even the professional hunter guys that like Rogan talks to and
Well,
stuff.
that's just it. They're all like bow hunters for the most part, and that I think requires skill because you have to track the animal, and you're doing that with the deliberate like you're shooting it with a bow because you don't want the animal to tense up. You don't want it to hear a gunshot. You want it to be as like killed as like seamlessly and like peacefully as possible because it keeps the meat as like tender as possible, and it doesn't release that lactic acid
Adrenaline or whatever the
Yeah,
fuck.
well, it's like adrenaline, but I think it's lactic acid, which
taint the
hardens
meat, makes it kinda sour or
It hardens
something.
the meat. Yeah, like makes the meat like harder for it to like the enzymes or whatever to break down, so you don't have as tender meat in the fat. But
we
what
actually have a lot of listeners that are big hunters. Aaron, Stu, Shep,
totally,
fucking, like,
and that's
all four of our listeners.
And I'm telling you guys have a shitty hobby.
Well, I think they all do bow and gun.
Well, as long as, but like I said, bow is
I don't
where
really hate on gun hunters because
I don't either. I just think it's unimpressive.
not everyone has like a sniper rifle out there. Like there's a lot of guys just with like a fucking iron sight. Like it's not easy in that moment. I think even though it's a gun, it's certainly easier than a bow. I still think it is challenging to hit an animal like center in the right spot so it doesn't fucking, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I've never done it. I don't even like fishing anymore. I don't like putting the hook through the minnow's mouth. Like
Love that.
I watch the fucking squirm. Yeah, I don't.
If I could
used
kill
to
a deer
love fishing as a kid because it's just something to do. But
Now, if I could kill a deer with a baseball bat, that would be the shit for me. Because you got to run that motherfucker down.
you're not gonna catch it. It's not.
I don't know. They're pretty doofy. I got hurt like right up on one. There was one that was on the other side of the fence the other day, and it was like maybe 5 feet away from me.
You just get kicked in the fucking eye.
Dude, yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I'm coming at it blind with a fucking baseball bat, hitting myself in the kneecap.
I'm hunting.
Look at me, I'm Rambo.
Just whack Cheyenne in the head by accident. She's all lumped up.
Well, that's how I got this, man. It was
Wrong
like fucking
beard.
chasing her down the fucking stairs. I'm saying how
dude.
unimpressed I am with hunting. This is what a dipshit I am. I'm like, oh yeah, hunters are gay.
You're
I
literally like, our
dove-
fan base are huge hunters, and you're like, you guys are fucking pussies.
I'm not saying they're pussies. I just think it's a dumb. They would
You have to kill the animal with your hands and eat its heart with your teeth, which
I
I think
agree.
Aaron does.
Aaron probably does
Aaron's
do
like,
that.
you gotta fucking like eat the heart, like pull it out and fucking eat it, like rub the blood on your face. I'm like, hell yeah.
I think you when it's like your first kill or whatever, you bite the heart, and then I think it's like
do
you're
like
supposed
some
to
war
eat,
paint with the fucking
you're
blood.
supposed to
dude.
eat the liver fresh or something like that too. Or apparently it's like real good. We've talked about organ meat being like fresher the organ meat, the better it is for you. Like like your nutrients and whatnot. It's got like more nutrients. Like I know that people eat like raw deer liver. Like I've heard of that before when I lived out in Colorado. Now that on the same fucking thread though, like because
Could you do some shit like that as far as like? I don't even like pulling apart a rotisserie chicken. I don't like bones. I could like you're a cook, chef, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Don't mean disrespect if you're a sous chef now, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't
fucking
care.
line cook, fucking bitch.
I am a line cook. That's why I'm so dismissive about hunters.
Some
and
people
shit.
get offended though if they're a chef and you're like, oh, you're a cook, and then they'd be like, no, I'm a chef.
No, I wish people would not call me chef because people do all the time. I'm like, don't fucking call me that. It's
My
like,
name's Joe. My dad's Mr. Chef.
my dad's Mr. Chef. My grandfather was Mr. Joe Chef. Actually, it's weird you say that. My grandfather actually was pulled out of like World War II, or excuse me, pulled out of college or whatever to go to World War II. Like he got drafted and then came back and became a chef.
Potatoes.
He became a chef. He wasn't peeling the potatoes for the Navy or for the Army. He was in the Army Air Corps. He was fixing planes.
No
And
shit.
He came
That's
home.
what Johnny's dad did. He was fixing fucking jets over in the Middle East.
Yeah, he so there wasn't an Air Force jet during World War II. It was Americans Air Corps, I think is what it was called. It was like
Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah,
Just a bunch of black dudes with syphilis flying around.
We're dropping bombs on Germany. Everyone's got
Made
AIDS
Hitler
now.
extra mags. There was a bunch of black dudes rolling in like sipping 40s.
Here's a fucking thing that blows people's minds when I tell them this. Do you know there were black Nazis, like
pretty cool.
Weimar conscripts? There's Indians. There was fucking Asians.
Were they like in prison? How there's the guys who have the jobs, like they were just like the house ends. You know what I mean? Or were they?
Nope. These were people that were literally all right. So. The 30s, Hitler started going down to North Africa because he wanted to make, like, there's a lot of reasons strategically to do it. There's also a lot of, like, mineral resources that North Africa has. What he was trying to, the end goal was, I've talked about this before, he wanted an entirely autonomous Germany. So, like, he was looking for places where there were abundance of resources that were, like, kind of close to home, where it wouldn't take, like, too much effort, like, you know, a plane ride would be able to get something home. But, like, they were going as far as, like, you know, the Pacific and, like, Antarctica and shit like that. So they went way overzealous with it. But the beginning of the war, though, like I said, Britain was still occupying India. So some of the Indians, like all the Hindis that were oppressed by the British colonialists, they conscripted into the Weimar. Like they sided with the Axis, and the
That's
Axis
why
took
there's
them
still
in.
the Nazi stuff
Well,
in certain parts of India.
it's more that just the colonial rule, I think, didn't get eradicated till like the 60s or 70s. So like they just held on to that sentiment, like fuck you, Britain, like you got firebombed by this guy. We're gonna like he's our man, like you know. So
I totally get that.
yeah, and like I would compare it to the Ayatollah Khomeini, but I don't think you know who that is.
What was it again?
The Ayatollah Khomeini. He was like the Iranian Ayatollah guy that like
I've heard of it, but I'm not familiar.
He's that dude. Whenever you see people holding up the picture of the guy in the turban, like it's like a huge, like massive people walking through. It was like some protest in Iran where it was like it springboarded into something. Hitler was like their Ayatollah Khomeini.
Wasn't Iran a small side? Wasn't it like a Western style country in like the 70s?
No, it still is. It's actually just we have
There's like pictures. You see the things online. It's like pictures of them back in the day, and it looked like fucking New York City. You know what I mean?
Well, it was Baghdad too. Baghdad was the most Western. It was called like the jewel of the Middle East or whatever. Where
shit.
it was
I didn't know that.
real progressive because it was before the Shiites took over. It was like Sunni and Kurd. It was shitty
shites and turds.
fucking turds. Fucking.
I used to legit think that was funny in like 4th grade when we
Mud
first
butt
went
humor.
over. Fucking Shiite, dude.
What kind of Shiite?
I thought that was so funny,
Dude,
I still do.
There's this kid, Dan. Actually, shout out, I call him Dan Sanzo. Dan Sanzo was in Mrs. Sadazan's class with me, and we had to read the 3 distinctions of Muslim, and one of them was like Sunni, Shiite, and Kurd, and it was like he said Sunni, Shiite, and Kurd. Everybody fucking was dying. Why is that so fucking funny? Make your name less hilarious.
Oh, dude, something about juvenile humor, especially at that age, dude. He
it's
probably
perfect.
fucking crushed.
Dude, everybody was like dying laughing. And
He's
the
like,
teacher,
yeah, I'm George Carlin now.
teacher even fucking got a giggle out of it because she knew it was innocent. Like, you know, he wasn't.
Everyone hated Muslims back then anyway, so.
Get your moose out of his fucking coffee.
It was like right after 9/11, so like I have a mission you can go back to the
Are you saying omission or
admission that
Admission.
I've been really enjoying country music this week. I go in weird spurts. Grew up on Toby Keith with Timmy's parents. They love Toby Keith, and so did my aunt. So I just have a nostalgia for that.
Weird way of saying you grew up in a trailer.
Yeah, I did. It's fine.
No, that was bad.
I grew up as royalty.
Taco royalty.
I don't know. I go in weird spurts where I do enjoy some country, and there's this like extremely now there's like a hit piece on it. It's by Toby Keith. It's called the Taliban song. It's like this extremely like offensive. It's like, tomorrow we're gonna saddle up. It'll be ride camel ride.
Shit.
Like it's fucking awesome. Great tune. Taliban song, Toby Keith. But then I Googled it trying to find out who was the other guy he was singing along with, and there was like some article being like, a look back on the xenophobic Taliban song by Toby Keith or whatever. Some fucking like Vice News, like it's a great fucking song. I love that
Vice
2001, 2002 country where we were just like, dude, fuck
the
Muslims.
glass
Yeah.
them like
And that was the best.
Take
dude.
their oil, take their lives.
I was like 10 or 8 or whatever, 9 fucking years old, and like, you have no concept of the world. You're like, hell yeah, dude. They suckers punched us. We're going to shove a boot up their ass. It's just like a real lyric. Like,
yeah, it's like nationalism. Like at a fucking like it's just the
when you're a kid, you're like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Now like as a weed smoking crunchy hippie, you're like, fucking, dude, we're fucking bombing them for oil. Like,
well, Taliban's actually not
weed
doing
really
too bad.
ruined me for sure.
Whatever, just made you have perspective. Like it's, but no, for real, the Taliban is actually not doing too bad. You can look it up. They're well, first off, Vice hates the Taliban too, which is like kind of funny because some Vice journalists went over to interview them and they were making
I
fun
was
of her.
just spitballing a fucking random.
No, but still, this
I
is
forget
hilarious.
who did the article?
I'm gonna talk about Vice, and then we're gonna go back to Terrain because Terrain has a lot of world records, and then back to World War II and Hitler getting all over the place. But
I'm all ears, babe.
all right, so Vice a couple of years ago went to the Middle East. I think it was like Africa, actually, like Saudi Arabia maybe. But like they went over there and they interviewed. Like Vice somehow got an exclusive op-ed with like a couple Taliban leaders, and they sent a female like blonde-haired, blue-eyed journalist there, and they were like, when are we going to find the journalist? And she's like, I'm the journalist. They're like, no, where's the man? And they're like, and she's like, I'm the journalist. And they all just start laughing.
You have
and
penis?
They just all start laughing and tell the cameraman to they're like, cut it. Like, dude, it is the funniest fucking thing ever. And then I think they eventually did get like I think they got like a print article
Those
or something.
guys fucking rule,
They're
bros.
Dude, there's tourism. If you're a white male, you can go to fucking Afghanistan. You could go to fucking
Just
Kabul.
like punch a woman in the head.
Dude, you could go to Kabul and like they'll fucking escort you around and be like, come see. It's like we've fixed things. We got rid of the American bullshit and like and they're right. It's like all their women wear the fucking garbage bags and shit and shut up and like fucking walk in a single file line on the sidewalk, and men are just like hanging out smoking hookah, fucking driving side saddle and Land Rovers and shit. Like it looks like chaos, but it's fucking fun.
They're doing those weird like donut fucking videos where they're on some weird strip of road and they're just like doing donuts and like just hitting the rev limiter where it's like like a fucking Toyota Land Cruiser or whatever. They do those crazy drifts where they're doing like 100 and start sliding.
That's in Dubai and Saudi Arabia. Those guys have like 100-mile highway out in the desert or whatever. Those guys will do this thing where like get their Land Rover up on 2 wheels and the 2 guys will hop out and change the front and the back tire. Well, it's like dude, we were at Josh's house with Jamie's twin brother the one time. We watched like 3 hours of those dudes doing it because like we thought it was just gonna be like a couple like S turns, maybe a flip or two. These dudes go up like berms.
They're completely out of control.
They go up like berms that like are like just sand dunes that like accumulate on the side of a highway, and will like fly up the berm, come down, and then it's like that leads to the highway, and they'll just like hop a barricade and like skirt into the middle of like traffic. It's fucking crazy.
And traffic, there's no pattern to it already over there.
There's no
just
lines
chaos.
on the roads.
Yeah, it's just like you see those videos of like an inner city area in India, and it's just like motorcycles and scooters and everything's just like crisscrossing, and like you're just going like I don't know if I would enjoy that, honestly.
I want to go. It looks like fun.
Just fucking be out there on a Tao and just be brapping around.
I mean, it looks like fun because you could go like get like a Toyota Hilux that they used in the Revolution. That was like that's pretty fucking cool. You're riding around a piece of fucking history. I mean,
is it like Cuba over there where they got a bunch of old cars, or is it like
I mean, it's all like Russian shit. So they got like Ladas and Yugos and shit like that. So like there's like I'm saying, I'll just send you the guy. There was a guy that did like a travel vlog on going to Kabul, and it's like, you know how the ISIS Guinness's flag was like black with white letters and it had like the sword. Well, now their flag has been co-opted by the Taliban and it's white with black letters, meaning it's like peaceful. It's like they're no longer the aggressors.
So the Taliban is a peaceful.
They're not. Well, yes, for the most part, they just don't want it. They didn't want.
They didn't do 9/11 anyway, dude. It was George Bush. Come on, dog.
I mean, it's it was
the Holocaust
it
real?
was Israel. Like, let's be fucking real. It was the Mossad, the dancing Israeli. Like, anyway,
Zionists.
Hey, but so back to Iran though, dude. So did you know that Iran for like, I forget what it is exactly, like how the verbiage is, but it's like Iran has like a bunch of world records. I know they have the most world records for architecture, but it's like a bunch like related to that. They have like some fucking like, I don't know if it's a king, monarch, or like whatever, but it's like the head, the big fucking cheese over there in Tehran just keeps building all these like stadiums and monuments. Because he just likes accumulating world records from Guinness, and Guinness will come and give them to him, but they had to like kind of put a halt on it because they're like, yeah, you're using a lot of like slave labor, and a lot of people die.
He's getting world records for the size of his monuments
like
and
the
stadiums.
Like stadiums with like the biggest
do they
capacity.
Use the stadiums?
Yeah, they do. Like
Okay,
it's all
for,
stuff that's
soccer.
like, yeah, it's like all stuff that's appropriated and like used, but it's like they're also like they just had like a big stadium built for soccer, and they're like, well, now we're gonna build an even bigger one for cricket, and like they have like the world, like the largest.
So like actually care about like being a Guinness World Record holder is so fucking weird.
Their leader's like a megalomaniac. Like he's got like a gold car and like all that shit. Like
biggest stadium in the world.
Well, yeah, it's like imagine giving Borat a bankroll. Like,
Yeah, true.
I'll get the largest donkey in the entire fucking city. Okay, but all right. One last thing. My grandfather was it? We were talking about. I don't know why we got onto Hitler's imperialism, but it was like, yeah, he was in Africa and India and all those places. They got Nazis. So there was like black Nazis from like Algeria and Tunisia and shit like that. They got co-opted into the Weimar, and they were like,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought there was like homegrown German black people that were
there
Nazis.
there's like,
really?
There's not like I
thought they got carted off to Poland.
I saw one. No, they fucking fought because dude, they thought that they were fully, and I'm gonna have to bleep this word specifically, but they have like a whole Mandingo thing over there because they
That's
don't.
not what I thought you were gonna
No,
say.
they really do. It's a whole fucking thing, and it's like, all right, you've seen Inglourious Bastards, right? You know the
Yes.
little scene where Goebbels is talking about Dr. Mengele and how he like, it's like all the Americans, we have Jesse Owens, because Jesse Owens kicked the shit out of all the German athletes in the 38 Olympic, or 30, 34, 36, yeah. Whatever the Olympics was, Jesse Owens came over and beat the shit out of him, and Hitler's pissed. So they were like, yeah, so like that was why, like one of the things Mengele was like, it's like, well, figure out what black people have genetically that white people don't, because we're trying to make a massive...
dongs.
Yeah, the lack of bones in their legs. But anyway.
Fast twitch muscle or whatever.
It's fucking they can see better at night or something like that.
Because they were feeding them all that good food.
Yeah.
You ever hear people say that angle about like athletes?
What?
They're saying that like, this is not my opinion. This is just what I've heard from like racist relatives.
This is
The
speculative.
reason they're such good athletes is because of like how we fed them during the slave era. They got like organ meats and like all like the stuff that we didn't want or whatever. Apparently was very nutritious, which I don't know how true that is. I'm really trying to cover my own tracks here. I don't want to fucking don't want to say something out of turn, but I've heard that theory that the reason that they're so they
those people,
the reason that African Americans
those people
are so athletic is because they were bred that way through slavery,
eugenics,
through the food, and yes, through picking
selective breeding or whatever. Yeah. Well, that's like that. So like Germans aren't like exclusive to that. That's I've heard that too, because like there's actually been Thomas Jefferson, I believe, wrote on that. And Ben Franklin.
And he loved having sex with them.
Oh yeah,
And he had a
Thomas Jefferson
bunch of
had
caramel
a
cream
bunch of
babies.
fucking.
And he didn't acknowledge them either. Right?
I think his like estate later did, but like he personally,
was like, nah.
personally was like, no, those are they go back there. He had like a wife.
He's like,
that
I'm
was,
diversifying my fucking workforce. I'm just making more workers.
From what I understand,
That's a good
too,
businessman.
He had like a wife, and then like his gumar, like his mistress or whatever, was like she wanted him to marry him. He was like, "Fuck no!" Like
It had to be steamy.
Oh yeah,
that forbidden fruit in the 1700s, dude. He would probably get lynched if he got found out.
Dark of the back. Well, here's a fun one. We can go back to
He was
trash.
probably busting so hard and that fucking.
We might not even be able to release this because I got.
Who cares, dude?
Yeah,
Happy Memorial Day. This
Yeah,
is
happy
America.
Memorial Day. Fucking America.
Why are we not releasing
freedom
this?
of
I'm having
speech?
fun.
Well, I was gonna say that Leo Frank was the only guy. Like most people don't think the KKK and black people work together, but when it comes to lynching a Jewish guy,
I don't know anything about that.
Leo Frank, we've talked about it before. That was that part on the ADL I had to bleep out. The ADL claims that Leo Frank, the guy who was lynched by the KKK, he was a white guy, worked in a pencil factory, and had allegations that he sexually assaulted a 14-year-old and raped her to death. Another subject that comes up on here quite a bit. You're welcome.
I don't think any of this needs to be bleeped. Dude.
All right,
We're having
so-
fun. Why gotta bleep Mandingo? It's a fun word.
It is a fun word.
We don't gotta bleep nothing. Post the raw uncut, dude.
All right.
We have 70 subs. So they're gonna cancel
All
us.
right. Well, we're going to lose a third of them because they all
cares,
like hunting.
dude?
They're going to
Yeah.
come hunt me.
They're gonna say because of our racism. I'm like, no, that's why they watch. But the hunting talk definitely.
No, that's where I draw the line.
Well, yeah. I mean, that goes without saying, dude.
We don't like bleep.
Yeah.
But deer, whew. NASCAR, whew, you don't touch that sacred Jeff Gordon fruit. But yeah, like they fucking, I don't know. I don't know even what the point I was trying to make there. I was just trying to make a fucking off-colored comment about
Well, yeah,
how like black people don't normally work with the Klan except to lynch a Jew. That's.
I thought you were gonna say those like WWE like backstage there, like clinking beers and fucking like the Proud Boys and BLM just like meeting up at a bar.
Dude, how
after the
fucking
show.
funny was that shit I sent you? That old black guy, black fat lesbians.
Nah, dude, I love like a fucking
Cantankerous old fucking southern black guy. Dude, they're the
dude.
best. They're the best.
They don't
man.
fucking mince words,
No, absolutely not.
and they don't go along with the bullshit of today's society or however the fuck you want to phrase it. I think
it's
obviously
that generation in general, but they
some people might find it distasteful what they have to say, but I enjoy it.
BLM absolutely.
I meant cantankerous old southern folk.
He just made the same point 3 times, and the guy was trying to find a way to like contextualize it for him. He's like, "No, I don't like this, and I'm too old to start trying to learn how to embrace it. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm old. I don't want to hang out with fat black lesbians. They seem like not."
The other guy sounded like such a pussy, but
Oh,
like
dude, such a soy boy.
I do.
Paizo.
I talk myself. I probably sound like a pussy too, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to seem racist, but
I don't want to see racist.
I kind of always try and cover my own tracks. Like, you don't want to sound like a complete fucking dickhead, but I feel like that older generation has earned the right to just say whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. If you were in Vietnam, you're allowed to say whatever the fuck you want. You were in Korea, you got to say whatever the
It's
fuck you
gone
want.
too far, and I'm not. I don't know.
Here's the thing
I
about
miss when you could say faggot.
Yeah,
like, you know,
no, we
or
still-
retard.
we still can.
We do.
yeah, and it's
And
like
it's
there's
cringe though
zero
because now
re-
we're almost like, oh, these guys are edgy. but
there's
it's just like,
zero repercussions to saying anything you want, and I think that's like what can happen if you.
I mean, you might get punched. That's about the worst of it.
Yeah, that's not
But
that
somebody who's
bad.
going to be offended by the word faggot probably isn't going to swing on
I
you
was just
anyway.
gonna say,
so.
if I call someone a faggot and they punch me, I'm gonna be like, "You are a fucking child. You can't use your words to express yourself the
No,
way
I'm
you
gonna
have to."
hit that faggot with my purse.
I'm the Italian here. I'm genetically predisposed to hit. Like, you should fucking be better
Jesus.
than me. Like, yeah.
Paisan.
Hey, fucking paisan, hey, bumaz. I like a little ragadich.
He's a fucking
But, no,
queer.
it's a fig. But, dude, the fucking Seamer's edit of you with Vito is fucking great.
What do you do?
Is you in that scene where Vito's in the fucking car with the security guard and he just made you the guy getting the Hummer.
I saw that. That's fucking awesome.
And just for
Hands down.
reference,
The face I'm making, dude. That was a bad picture, but I liked my outfit and the way I was standing, so I just posted it. Tina was literally like, "Why'd you post that?" And I was like, "I like my shirt."
that was pretty good. Well, what's great is that
6 forbidden words.
that's Nick kicking him in the face. Like, Nick literally
I
kicked.
didn't even see the shoe.
Yeah, that's Nick kicking him in the face.
Foreigners.
Yeah, foreign people.
This has like no rhyme or reason, but I enjoy it. I like just hanging out and shooting the shit and getting
Same.
lost and
The
doing
sauce.
racisms and homophobias and
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Saying woolly bullies and
I wish I could
fuzzy
do
wuzzies.
longer today because the plan I was thinking of the other day is like we need to do like a tight hour and then take like a 30-minute break.
Yeah.
And then come back, like change shirts so like to the fucking viewers they're like, oh, it's like
It's a different day.
Yeah, literally it's a different day. And we could do like hang out for 3 hours and do like 2 solid hours, I think.
Yeah.
As long as you don't like go too crazy with the editing. Which I know when you have to re-listen, not even that. When you do have to re-listen to it, I totally get like why you end up chopping things because you start analyzing. I'm of
No, it's
the
not-
camp where I'm just like post the raw thing, Chop out the N word.
It's just more that like there's big gaps of like blank boring shit, and it's like I understand you say that's a podcast, but it's more like just like I want it to be like.
I'm also not the one re-listening to it though,
Yeah,
so it's easy for me to be like, I had fun.
I
Like,
had
you know
fun.
what I mean? Like that's.
It's fun. I sound cool. I'm on the radio.
Yeah.
I like hearing my own voice.
I hate hearing my own voice.
I do too.
It's hard for me to re-listen. I don't re-listen. You do for editing purposes, but I doubt you're just like firing up a Blacktooth in your free time.
All the time.
Really?
Yeah, just because I'm trying to listen for clips and shit, and then I never write them down or save them or whatever.
It's
and
like
also
painful for me to do clips. I haven't done clips in a while just because like I just skip through until I see us laughing, like I said before, and I don't. It's not that it's bad. It's just like one of those like you don't like hearing yourself. Like I'm just like, oh, I'm a fucking douchebag. Like I go real Shane Gillis where I'm like, I suck. I don't even know why I do this. Like,
I don't try to like analyze what I do. I just sit here and talk. I get most of it wrong. That's what I fucking feel the worst about is because like it's just like I don't want to be factual.
Fact checking
I don't
yourself.
I don't want to like be like factual like to a detriment or whatever. But it's like I try to like keep the thing like conversation going, and sometimes I get shit wrong. I'm like that was like really fucking completely off base, and like I'll be like,
it, dude, we're riffing.
yeah, it's just it. It's like I usually go for the funny more than I go for the accuracy, but sometimes you need to like I don't know. I have to like chop something because I get it like flagrantly wrong.
Yeah.
By the way, did you see that little thing? It was like the short that's
It's empty.
no, you were not doing that. Get the fuck out of here. You see that thing? It was like Jeffrey Epstein with the two little kids, and it's like the Island Boys.
No, I didn't get to watch that yet.
It's just
I saw it.
That's gotta be
I saw
fake,
Island
right?
Boys, and I was like, haha.
That's gotta
Like,
be fake,
I
right?
automatically knew it was gonna be funny. What was that? I didn't see.
Oh,
it
it's
yet.
just like it's a picture of Jeffrey Epstein with like two kids that like vaguely look like the Island Boys, and then like they have a picture of the Island Boys in the picture next to one another. It's like this dude kind of look like them.
Even if it's real, like I don't think it helped the Island Boys' career. They've fucking fallen off a cliff. So
Really?
yeah, they're like broke.
Oh, what?
they're
They're
not a
my
thing anymore.
favorite thing. I thought they were like still fucking doing like.
No,
I saw what's his name?
their
What's up?
publicist was on No Jumper and was like, "These guys owe me like hundreds of thousands of dollars,
Jesus
and like
Christ.
they don't pay their bills."
Did
and, like,
Adam fuck their
everything's-
publicist?
It was a dude, but maybe.
Dude, that always makes me laugh because No Jumper, I'll like watch it and I'll just be like, Adam's like just waiting to get fucking naked and start like mouth fucking this guy. Like it's gonna happen one of these days where
I don't think Adam's bi.
I don't care. I just
porn
want
stars.
to see him fuck a guy on YouTube. That's honestly the best part of that
I don't
podcast.
think that's something you're ever gonna see.
Well, you know what?
Maybe on his Patreon.
Everybody
but-
has a price. I mean, the top daddy son.
I don't think you're-
Adam, you have to fuck Danny DeVito. Phil,
I don't think you could pay that price for either.
I
of
don't
them.
know. You're absolutely right. No, he had Phil Hellman.
What do you think it would cost those guys? Danny DeVito, you're probably gonna have to pay $100 million because he's already got tons of money.
No, less than, just for like an hour interview. He's probably like
Not the
like,
hour
like,
interview to fuck No Jumper.
To fuck,
get fucked
to
by
get fucked
Adam's
by Adam
wrench.
22.
He's 22 incher, dude.
Is that why he's 22 centimeters?
Guy's got a piece.
I know, I've seen that. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got. But no, like the one where he's interviewing Phil Hellmuth, and they had like a.
You wanted to fuck Bill
No,
Hellmuth?
just the whole time. It's like it was one of those ones where he interviews like his rappers and like he interviews like the hood rat kind of people. Like I know that's like the demographic that he kind of like focuses on is like hot
He's a
chicks.
culture vulture, yo.
Exactly. Like, but is that a negative?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
He gets some flack being like, because he's a white dude and he's in the
hanging out
hip-hop.
with like basketball and
He's
hip
in
hop.
like, yeah.
like
And they're like, he's a fucking culture vulture.
you got like Ryan Garcia on there though. Like that's not like his culture.
I like Adam, so I
I
don't
like
really
him too.
care about
Yeah, I
that.
love the podcast. Like No Jumper's a fucking phenomenal podcast. But I listened to the whole 3-hour Phil Hellmuth interview that he did. I'm just like normally at like an hour and 20 in, it's like his dick's already in someone's mouth, and it's just like he's actually like giving Hellmuth like the like because they're peers. Like they play like competitive high stakes poker like at that level. So
I think
like
it's cool that Adam Degen's out again because he took like a 10-year hiatus.
yeah,
from
he took
poker,
a while
apparently.
off. He was on Hustler not too long ago. Like I think like it was a little over a year ago. But yeah, he was on there, and I was like really surprised. I was like, I thought he was like done with that shit. Like
I don't want to be like hipstery, but I watched No Jumper blow up. Like I was watching it in like 2015. He was still doing like the BMX videos and like having like SoundCloud rappers on and shit. Like he had like XXX Tentacion or however the fuck you pronounce that. He had Lil Peep on. He had guys on before they blew up. But I remember watching that channel and it's just like, I think he signed a deal with a major record label or something. But I mean, it's like one of the biggest YouTube brands. Like it's
like one of the biggest
like got like
cross-platforms.
generational wealth at this point. Like,
yeah, he's cross platform like so well that
and
like
he wasn't like. I'm sure he had money and stuff before this. Like he had his store in LA, but he wasn't like this level of like, you know, Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, like
he's like a household name.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Like
it's pretty cool.
He was like him, and then I've been following Soft White Underbelly for a really long time too, and then I didn't realize how
Some
popular.
of those are tough to watch.
They're fucking awesome for me. It's like it's just like fun to.
I get
point and
uncomfortable
laugh.
like 10 minutes in. I love it. Like he's like the best.
He gets a good story out of the people, which is like
some of them you're just like like why am I like the fucking it's like fentanyl prostitute fucking Crystal. It's just like I don't want to watch this.
There's the one, the guy that was in that movie, the documentary. I don't know if you've actually seen this documentary, but it's really good. It's called, I think it's called the 5-5 or the 7-5, and he interviewed the cop that was involved in that whole bust. It was about those Brooklyn cops in the mid 70s. Yeah. The guy that like got in the kidnapping and drug ring thing, and he interviewed, and he like fucking that guy was in this documentary, and then his fucking Soft White Underbelly was like all the stuff in the documentary he couldn't say, and I'm like, oh my god, this makes so much more fucking sense now, because it was like it wasn't like a weird or like ambiguous story or whatever. It was just like kind of jumped from like one thing to the next thing without like much like it's like I understand you're a cop, shit moves fast on the streets, especially when you're in like Brooklyn in the 70s. It's an open air drug market, and West, everyone's fucking murdering each other. Like they literally had a place called Fort Apache in the Bronx. It's a really good documentary, or it's a PBS segment on that.
I'm pretty fascinated with like gritty New York back in the day, like when the mob was running things.
I was too, and it's like it's so gay now. Like I hate New York. Like it's such a.
I've only been in New York maybe 2 times in my life.
So if you have that, if like you watch like Taxi Driver or even like The Godfather or something like that, where you're like. That's like,
I know that's gone,
dude. It's like Disneyland. It's so fucking weird though. Because,
apparently, it's getting rough again though, because like, but not in like certain parts.
No, all of it's rough. It's like people are getting stabbed on the subway
all the
constantly.
laws or the cop laws or something changed. Well, not the defund, but they like
they had like so they had under
more stop and frisk
when they had De Blasio, I believe. I think he was the mayor when I was in college. It was like 2009 to 2013 was when I lived
on Long Island for 4 years.
Yeah, for 4.5 years I lived on Long Island. So like I wasn't, and it's not like I was like out there either. I was in Hempstead, so it was like I was three train stops. I was in 3 train stops away from where one of the worst LIRR stops is, Jamaica, Queens. It's like the fucking, that is the Wild West now. Like it's bad. But it wasn't like it was like bad or anything. It was just stop and frisk was going on. The 40-60 rule, which is, I don't know if you've ever heard Norton talk about that, but it has actually like curbed the homeless from doing like depraved shit on the street a little bit. The 40-60 rule is that if you wanted to sell pornography in your video store, it had to be 40% real, like material, like reading material or like videos or whatever. You couldn't just have a dirty bookstore that was exclusively on 100% like just dirty books and porno and whatnot. Like you had to actually have like the front of your store be like a regular ass bookshop, and then you go through the little curtains or whatever, and then it's like what you're looking for. So that
but you could have 60% porno.
yeah, but like that was they just wanted the facades.
How did they fucking like?
Well, they wanted the fronts of the buildings to stop attracting homeless people and like degenerates, because it
people
was like
whacking off on the sidewalk.
Yeah, and like shit like that, and it actually did curb it a little bit. It cleaned up like Midtown like quite a bit, believe it or not. Like as much as that.
Apparently, Times Square used to be like.
It still is.
Like
I mean, it's
chaos.
It's always been a shithole. Did you ever watch that Gangsters Gone Wild?
Now it's like touristy, but apparently back then there was like all these sex shops and like weird.
Still
like,
is.
Really?
Oh yeah, but you ever seen Gangsters Gone Wild?
No.
That apparently like some of that's fake, but it was like one of those Girls Gone Wild. How it was like you order the video series. There was one for Gangsters Gone Wild. It was all these dudes that would like LA. There would be like a guy in the crew that would just bring a camera with them, and then they'd send it to this like production company. They'd chop it all together with like hip hop and whatnot. You can find it on YouTube. There's nothing like it's like enough for it to get censored on YouTube, but like there is a scene where this one dude's rolling around in a minivan. He just opens the minivan and just shoots some guy on the side of the fucking road. And I mean, it's probably got like blanks or whatever is like set up, but like. Yeah, it's like just a drive-by, and then there's like this one where these 2 dudes are playing basketball in a park, and the one guy like keeps boxing the other guy out, and he like shoots him or whatever. Like, dude, it's dumb fucking hoodlum shit. But one of the segments in that was this guy wandering around Times Square with a camera and a microphone interviewing white people, and he just walks up to some white kid wearing a real gold chain and goes, "Give me your chain." And he's like, "Oh, for the bit, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, for the bit." And then the kid's like,
Books it.
and then the kid's like, well, can I have it back? He's like, you just got robbed. Like, I just played you. Get the fuck out of here. And it's like, you can see the Coca-Cola sign in Times Square right behind him. It's like in where Tracy Morgan's at in Half Baked, where he's introing all the fucking music videos for Smokes a Lot and whatnot. That was where this guy got his chain robbed. There's probably like a 14 grand fucking real gold chain, because it's New York too. Like, those are fucking people that don't want to fucking, they don't front or whatever. They're all about appearance and shit up there.
Joey Code talking.
Dude.
Yo, this guy ain't fronting, dog.
Fucking
Keeps it real.
I don't speak AAVE.
That's that's tough to what do you do in that situation? Do you get beat up and get your chain taken, or do you just
Call him the word that we're the only word I'm not
The
going to have to
forbidden
the
word.
forbidden, call him that, and then kick him in the knee, and like just like, what's he going to do, pull a piece on you in Times Square? Like, you're a fucking,
maybe
who cares? He's not going to fucking do anything. Everybody that's like,
I'm calling the police.
no, it's like everybody that like fucking has that shit. Like, I lived in New Orleans. The cops were irrelevant there. They were fucking, there was two things that the cops did. They literally went to like the 9th Ward to arrest black people for fucking selling like meth and fentanyl and shit. And then there was like the cops that were down on like the French Quarter that would make sure that all like the rowdy college kids wouldn't fucking like fuck people's shit up and like sell drugs openly. Like, those are the only two ways that the cops did anything. I never got in trouble for
Probably just breaking up a lot of fights.
Yeah, it's like they would have like the SWAT guys too.
They're
to
like
look
bar
like
bouncers on this giant bar that is Bourbon Street.
yeah, like so it was like it was the wild fucking West down there. If I called 911 on my phone, 20
Good
fucking
luck.
minutes till a fucking cop shows up if they even fucking show up. And like, I'm in the sticks, like I'm not fucking like, it was one of those ones where it's like, I just learned that it's like, if you conduct yourself in a way where you know that like, I know as well as you know that the cops aren't fucking showing up, like, you're either gonna fucking do what you're gonna do to me, or I'm just fucking leaving. So either do it or get out of my fucking way. And like, for the most part, it's
and
never
you were
failed.
strapped down there, so it's like
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too.
King of the Castle Law, or whatever the fuck down there.
No, not King of the Castle Law. It's called Castle Doctrine.
I'm
That's
the
a
king of
book
my
one.
castle. I can
That's a-
fucking shoot you.
My trailer's my castle. I'm gonna pee and make a moat. Don't cross the water.
Don't drink the moat.
I was thinking about that, man. Why the fuck we like genuinely as Americans like missed out on like fucking like that like caste system, and I'm kind of bummed about that. Like, we don't have like royalty or like, but I don't mean like royalty, but I mean like tradition that like comes from like because we just never had it. Like, we never had monarchy like on like American
We basically
soil.
do. Like, we're fucking, everyone serfs.
No,
we're all fucking peasants.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not. It's just if you want to play the game, then you
Compared
feel
to like the super elite, it's all just classism now. It's not actual. What were you saying? What was the word you
like
just
a
used?
caste
Yeah,
system.
it's not caste system.
Well,
but
what I mean though is that we've like had this like we've been shorted. We never had the opportunity to like have like
become a knight.
Not even become a knight. I mean, just like like have like a position of like I think it's called like a dignified position or something like that. But it's like, yeah, like dukes, earls, like, you know, fucking kings, queens, princes, shit like that. We never had that. It was never part of the American like fucking way of life. And I don't think that like it would create
That's why we left.
Well,
there anyway, right? Or was it religious?
Well, okay. So who are you asking? Like, who are like 14 pilgrims? Like, because that was religious, and then like the British, we had the
I'm saying like it was
War.
on purpose that we never had a royalty.
Well,
like,
we still answered to the crown. No, George Washington and like all the dudes that wrote like the Declaration of Independence shit, they didn't want a monarchy. George Washington specifically was staunch on. He didn't want a monarchy. He thought that it would be
they wanted to make him king, right?
Yeah, they did. He said no. He said no, and he didn't even want a word that had any semblance of royalty because he was like, no, president. I want it to have something that's like a the word is transient. It's like a transient word, so you never have to worry about it being permanently attached to like President Bush, President Clinton. But it's like it's not just specifically that guy was never going
Checks
to be
and balances, baby.
exactly. He was never going to be
Founding
president
fathers were the fucking bros, dude.
so, but like that was just it. They were like think about it like this, and this is where I'm hung up on it. We never had kings. There was no opportunity for you or me to ever be a prince. We were never going to be the heir to a throne or like even like inherit land, inherit like anything of the echelon that like somebody over in Europe could just be born into. And like there still are royals over there. Like now I'm not just talking about like the king and the queen. I'm talking like if you go to like when I was in Germany, I went to some dude's house where he's still like nobility. And like he's not like the king, he's not the king of shit, but like he's got the nicest house in the town. And he's got like a fucking hedge maze. nowadays, and is like a whole bunch of shit on his property.
Is he like a prince, or is he like?
He's like some title of esteem. Yeah, like he's just somebody, like the son of son of son of
power.
Son. He holds tons of power. Like he's able to like fuck, like it would be like.
Is it part of the government, or is it like
sort of like he's not like a mayor or anything, but he has like the same pull like a mayor would have,
like a senator or something.
I don't even
councilman.
Like I don't really know how to explain it, but like no, he does have like a position of power where if that man walks into a building, people respect it. Like it's not like here where it's like you got to fucking like beat someone's ass and be like the scariest looking motherfucker in the room to command that kind of attention. This dude was just born into it, and you respect him.
People buy into it over there.
Still,
big
time.
Oh,
because what are you gonna do? What's the alternative? Are you gonna say no and then live in the woods and like be completely? You're not gonna be able to go.
Well, you could just be like, fuck this guy. Like you bow, but you're like, this guy's
no. It's not like it's not like to the extent of that, but I mean, like he does like dictate like what you like. People like that can dictate what affects you. Like I said, think of it more like a city councilman or like a mayor or something like that. But like you were born into it as opposed to being elected into it.
People there though, they love royalty. Like,
yeah, they do.
Jim Jeffries talks about how his mom loved
royal spotting or whatever.
The Queen and King of England or whatever from Australia, but like was like obsessed and like would rewatch the Princess Diana and Charles wedding on loop. Like people really like buy into that. Even people here in the States are obsessed with it, but I don't. I think it's fucking gay.
No, that part
that's
of
where I'm just like I don't really want to cast
that
system.
aspect of it is gay. I admit that, but what I mean is that it offers this like way of you being like I don't have to think about my title. I just have to do what like I need to do. So I'm not maintaining other people's shit. I'm just maintaining my property, but in doing so, that benefits you. Does that make sense? Like,
benefits me?
Yeah, like, so, like, if I have the biggest fucking house and my property is the biggest fucking shit.
Brings my value up.
It brings your value up, and it brings my value up, too. But also, if it generates tourism, well, I can make a buck off those tourism because those tourists, because they want to go to see your shit or, like, Royal Watch or whatever. But, and I'm not, like, saying this is it specifically. I just mean that, like, we were robbed of this opportunity where, like, we just have, like, elected officials and celebrities, and there's nothing about either of those people that I look up to or aspire to. And then you have like lobbyists and like corporate, and where like they are the people that really dictate the power of those people. And then above that, there's like people like the CIA and the Mossad and shit like that kind of dictate what they want to do. And then there's like a couple people above them that are like, you know, but like
the Rothschilds.
Yeah, like
whatever gay name.
Yeah, but like what I mean is like if there was like a way of like spreading it out more, where like the power was more like, you know, hey, this guy was born into it, but he's got good ideas, as opposed to like you got someone like Gary Johnson, who's kind of a lovable dipshit. But like he's never going to get elected. He's never going to have any real power. But that would be the guy that I want to like go live with.
He had me sold back in like 10 years ago.
All fucking day, man. All fucking day.
Anyone who said they were going to legalize weed when I was like 20, I was
Ron
like,
Paul.
this is my guy. I love Ron Paul. I wrote in Ron Paul, my first ever and only time voting in a presidential election.
I never voted in a presidential
election. I told
election.
my grandmom I voted for Obama, and Obama like barely won his second term. It was close, and she was like, "It's your fault that Obama won."
It's really like, fucking weird.
I literally kept telling her I voted for Obama, and my grandpa was like, "You really vote for Obama?" I'm like, "No, I wrote in Ron Paul." He's like, "Good for you. You voted for who you wanted to," because I had said that I wanted to vote for this guy, and my grandma was all, "You have to vote Republican," like blah blah. I forget who he was running against, McCain or Romney.
That was McCain. Yeah,
McCain was the second time.
Yeah, because they did the debate at my school.
I thought it was Romney. McCain was the first time.
Oh, man. No, you're right. You're right. It was Romney. But I got to see, what's that fucking bitch?
Mitt.
Mitt. Well, they did the debate at my college. You know that, right? I went to the debates.
I remember you said you had the sign.
Well, no, Rachel had... So
CIA or whatever.
Yeah, so this is public record because it's like actually like been published in my school newspaper and like on their Facebook and shit. So like I don't mind saying her name this time, but my girlfriend at the time, Rachel, we went down there. It was like right when all the Secret Service guys were down in Colombia, and they got busted like multiple tens of thousands of dollars of like hookers and cocaine in some hostel down there, and they were supposed to be like protecting the president. They're supposed to be his detail, and they were just like having a coked up orgy. And this is the Secret Service, like not like, oh, it's some tag along. No, these are the guys that
was
are
it
like
their day off? Was like the B team in that day?
They were supposed to be fucking doing their shit, and they were just like fucking up in motion. So yeah, so I made a sign.
The president was probably in there with him. He was just in the bathroom.
No, he's fucking Michelle, who's got a fucking dick, but that's a different story. Michael, yeah, well, there is that picture of his buddy from college that they look suspiciously alike, and they measured the ears and everything, and it's like, yeah, it kind of looks like Michelle might be a guy. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. So
Michelle's kind of hot, dude.
No, she's got a fucking dick.
Exactly.
This guy, fuck guys. But,
She's a pretty lady.
So what happened was I made a sign that said, "Hey, Secret Service, the hookers are that way," with a arrow pointing towards Hempstead. And everybody loved that sign. So I put my girlfriend on my shoulders and gave her the sign.
At her.
Whore! Go blow Obama, bitch. Daddy needs a presidential pardon. But yeah, no, so she was like on my shoulders and we got into the CNN press pit, and when the camera cut, all of a sudden this guy in a suit with an NSA pin comes over and pushes her off my shoulders and then takes the sign out of her hands and rips it up and throws it in a garbage can. And I'll post the picture because it's on my Facebook. I'll make a note to like put it in the edit, but like there's a picture of my roommate Luke and the NSA guy arguing because I knew the sign was going to catch a lot of heat, so like I was anticipating
Freedom of speech, man.
But yeah, my roommate was arguing like, "You can't do that. That's freedom of speech." And he's like, the guy with the NSA badge is like, "There's kids around here. You can't be like with a sign that says, 'Hey, Secret Service, the hookers are that way.'" And like both make valid points. I'm in the middle of it though,
That's
laughing.
a bullshit point, dude. The kids. Stop
I'm laughing.
They can't read.
Yeah, absolutely. they're fucking the hookers.
It's always the excuse, dude. What about the children?
Well, I mean, but anyway,
Sorry.
but no, just I was in the middle of the two of them laughing my ass off, and then I made another sign that said something, and then I got on the news with that one. But it was just weird that like we were there for the debates, and then like I got on the news for that. But the biggest story was that fucking senator from fucking Vermont. It's not Elizabeth Warren, but it's like one of those like chick ladies that wanted to be a fringe third party candidate in the Obama Mitt election.
I forget her fucking name.
You know who I'm talking about? Jill Stein,
yes.
I think. Yeah, Jill Stein. So she's like from Connecticut. She, like, the university's on this turnpike, and like down the center of the turnpike, the university like is straddled by it. So she marched like 100 people up there with all these like, "Jill Stein for president, let her debate," kind of like, and they were like doing these like, hey, ho, ho, you gotta let our girl go in or whatever.
Gay.
All 100 of them got arrested, and we were like, we were sitting in my Cobalt, smoking a joint, boxing it out, watching all of these fucking hippies get their signs broken over cops' knees, and then get like thrown on the ground and arrested. And we're just like, fuck you! And like, we didn't even know who
All
she
these
was.
Fucking white ladies spending the night in Central Bookings.
Dude,
Can you imagine?
Dude, it was like a bunch of fucking like 30 to like 55-year-old women and old fucking men who are trying to finger bang some like soccer mom, and like all those.
What'd they get arrested for? Like walking in the street or whatever?
Dude, they had it shut down. The Secret Service had the entire fucking boulevard shut down because they had the presidential motorcade come up that street, and they just like went through the university in a way they weren't supposed to, and there was like police every 10 feet up the boulevard. So once they got by like the third cop was like, "We need backup," and just like everyone ran across the boulevard
On
and
the
swarmed.
ground!
Dude, guns drawn. Like some people got tased. It was hilarious.
Hell yeah.
It was fucking awesome. But yeah, that was the Ron Paul was the only guy I ever said I would vote for. Gary Johnson was the other guy that this year
He messed up Aleppo, and they got like fried about it. And like, I don't know what the fuck Aleppo is either.
It's the capital of
Syria. Yeah. I know that now because of that incident.
I knew that at the time, but
I was fucking clueless.
I was watching.
I was like, dude, Gary's fucking.
I was watching.
Who the fuck knows what that is?
I was watching Syria get fucking destroyed on 4chan at that time. Like
I was watching the Young Turks at that time.
Oh, they suck, man. I fucking hate.
I was into them for like a year, and then like you just start to realize how lame
and out of touch with reality they are. They won't admit that
Cenk
fucking
did become a douche too.
Yeah,
like,
well,
over that time period.
I drew a line when he wouldn't admit the Armenian genocide happened, and that's like their whole fucking thing is they won't back down.
I loved Jimmy Dore. He was the
Jimmy
main
Dore's
reason
actually
I watched
cool.
the show.
His Twitter's
and now
pretty
he
good.
left and he hates the fucking Young Turks, and he has his own show.
He's got a cool Twitter though. He's got an interesting Twitter. I've catch some of his tweets by proxy or by osmosis, whatever it is.
And the chick, Anna Kasparian or whatever.
I don't know her.
She was like Chank's co-host.
Okay.
And I would just be like, this chick's a fucking smoke show.
Who do you think is the hottest anchor right now?
Megyn Kelly. I don't fucking know.
You like Megyn Kelly?
She's a smoke show. I don't know. I don't watch cable TV that often. I get most of my news from fucking YouTube, like motorcycle channels and fucking.
Fair enough.
Like, you know what I mean, I'm completely out of touch. I don't really know anchors, so that was just the first person that came to mind.
I like
fucking
that,
Martha Stewart, Oprah.
No, I like that chick that was hanging out with
Dan Skeldon.
Lauren Southern.
I don't know her.
She's friends with Crowder. But
I like the old guy from 6 Action, ABC News. He's looked the same age for the last 30 years.
Here's the one, man. When I moved down to Raleigh, the fucking weather and traffic chick is Elizabeth Gardner on the fucking WRAL. Dude, I heard she's the biggest bitch, and I'm like, that makes you so much hotter.
That's what you want.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like I want a chick that knows she's hot. Here's one of the hottest things I've ever seen a fucking woman do. I was getting a lap dance from this chick at the Hustler fucking strip club and on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. I'm getting a lap dance from her, and she's looking behind me, and there's nothing behind me. I'm sitting in a chair just like this, and she's like on my fucking lap, like grinding on me, and she's just like looking over my shoulder at something, and I'm like looking around trying to figure out what the fuck she's looking at.
Clock.
No, she's looking in a mirror behind me at herself, and I'm like, what are you looking at? She's like, I'm so fucking hot. And it's like, yes you are. And then just put like a $5 bill in her G-string. That's what I wanted.
This is great service.
This is what I want in a woman. It's like, I want you to know that like you're still gonna degrade yourself for money, but you look good doing it. You're still willing to absolutely flounder on your morals and sell your soul to make probably like they
make pretty good money. Some of them.
House cut, man. I mean, New Orleans actually. That specific. That I talked to a couple of people that were bartending there. They said that the gig is pretty good because I was trying to get a job cooking there. Believe it or not, because they had like a $24 starting rate, but like it's like you got to get into a union. It's fucking stupid. I don't like unions either.
Strippers union.
No, yeah, that would be great. I'm on fucking men's night. I got like fucking gut hanging out. Just one nut hanging out of my G-string.
That's a weird niche. That those guys probably make a killing. It's a niche though.
I don't know too many strippers that make a good amount of money. I know a lot of them that make good money and then have to give like 50% of it to the house.
Worked Atlantic City. Then COVID happened.
Exposures?
I think so. I don't know. She was a friend of ours, ex-girlfriend, and she went to work. Apparently, she was making like a couple grand a night, but this was summertime in Atlantic City, so I doubt you're making that in the wintertime.
No.
But I know they can make some pretty decent cash.
Well, it depends on how much they can make decent cash. It depends on how much they bring home, though. Because, like, all right, when they go
I didn't
up
know there was a big house cut.
Oh, massive house cut. It's over 50%. And if they get tipped past a certain amount, they have to give a percentage.
$50 to me and a blowjob later on.
Well, what they want to do is they try to incentivize them to buy drugs from the house, from what I understand. So they will take, like, a big cut of it, but then they'll be like, if you want to keep, like, if you want to get more bang for your buck, basically, like we'll pay you in like coke and meth or like heroin, whatever you want.
Yeah, there's comics that talk about having that arrangement back in the 80s or whatever. Dude, be like, do you want money, check, or do you want cocaine? We'll give you triple the amount.
There's one, I won't tell you which place it was, but there was a chick I was talking about. I was like, so what do they actually like? What is the house cut here? They have a stage fee. So every time they get up on stage, but one time, or they do it like 15 times in a night, they have to pay X amount. Usually it's like between $20 and $50. So you get, like this place, you got 3 songs. So it was $5 a song. So it was $15. So they made a good amount on the stage show. But it was one of those places that had a money trowel where it's a kind of old, it depends on where you are. You can't touch dancers in certain places and whatnot, but there's this thing where if you can't like physically go like that and like put money into their underwear, you can just throw it into this like trowel next to the stage so that then when they're done, they bend over. They're like, hey, you want to get a private dance? But it's like, it makes it so that like you're not touching them because you're not breaking any laws or whatever. So this place had a money trowel. So cheap to go on stage. They would make like most of their stage appearance fee back.
Would they be naked or like topless?
This place they would be topless. It wasn't full bottoms, but like you could pay them like an extra $20. They'd take their bottoms off. They weren't very good looking chicks either. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Perfect.
But yeah. So like they make 15 for that. But then like let's say I want to get a private dance. They always try and upsell you on the private dance to try to get you up for the time because the time they can kick you out if you come. So the longer you are in there, the longer they're gambling on that you're gonna come in your pants.
How do they know though?
Oh, because if they feel a wet spot, they're gonna be like, he came, and like a bouncer's gonna kick you out. Like, because they'll feel grossed out. Like they can be like, that violates my comfort zone. So
comfort.
Well, literally, fucking good one.
I'm just riffing, dude. I'm on fire.
So yeah, like so then they always try to upsell you on like to the time, but like you can get like 3 dances for like $50 or $100 or whatever, and then
you tip during the dance.
You tip during the dances, but like that is like you get the room now. The room now is more than the appearance fee on stage. So it's like, well, you had 3 stage shows, that's $45, but then you took 2 private dances, so that's $60 right there. It's twice the amount, like 30 and 30. So it's like twice the amount. Then if you go upstairs, that's like $150, but like they're going to tell
They're
you
charging you $300.
They're going to tell you,
$500.
$300 off the bat, and you got to tip me like $100 if you want me to get naked, which has happened before. I actually asked some chick how much it would cost for me to pee on her. She said $2,300. I'm like, okay. But
Lady knows her number, dude.
I didn't even. Well, it took a little bit of prying because she was like, "You can't just do that." And I'm like, "No, like we can leave." And she's like, "I'm not doing that." I'm like, it wasn't even like I was playing. Like, this makes it seem like I'm being like a fucking asshole. Like I wasn't being a scumbag. I was asking. Like this conversation was organic. She was sitting.
You're like,
next
what's the menu? What's on the menu?
Well, no. So they sit next to you most of the time. If you don't want to get like a massage or a lap dance, because like you can get a massage, that's cheap. They don't have to pay anything for massage because they're not going up on stage or going anywhere. They just make $10 cash. But it's real degrading to like give some fat fucking sweaty guy a
Greasy
massage,
Italian
and
from
he's
New
not
Jersey.
even looking at you. Yeah, like they don't want to fucking do that. So they sit down next to you or sit on your like lap or on your arm or whatever. And like, hey baby, what can I do for you? So like sometimes like I bought the computer that I edit this podcast on from a chick that I knew at the men's club in Raleigh because she was like. She sat down. She's like, "You want to dance?" I was like, "No, not really. I'm here to watch football. You want to drink though?" And she was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And told me she worked at the Apple Store. And I'm like, "Hey, I'm trying to get like this specific computer. When is a good time to buy that?" And she's like, "Actually, you should wait for the next model to come out because that'll drop and then it goes on sale around this time. So like, wait until right around here." Fucking got it for like $1,200 cheaper than it was.
No shit.
Oh yeah, it was all because I like just bought a stripper a drink. She's like, "Yeah, my manager at the Apple Store. I know when to fucking do that." Like you
It's pretty cool.
bro. Like people.
Joe's making friends. He's wholesome. He goes to the strip club to network.
Well, I wasn't like going there to network. I was going there to watch football because there was a $5 cover charge. But they had all 18 games on, not like simultaneously, but like throughout the
So
day.
you didn't have to fucking pull up
Yeah.
esports.cu
Yeah,
or whatever
and
the
also
fucking
you
weird
could-
websites we use.
When there's commercials, you can turn around and see some chick getting her tits sucked. So like that's
Pretty
awesome.
cool.
Like yeah.
Guys'
anyway,
Day.
Anyway,
I've
like,
only been to a strip club once. It was for B-Shep's bachelor party. It was like a Wednesday night in Atlantic City in the wintertime.
which one? Bear
And the
exposures or
AC Dolls near we were at Ocean, or I forget which casino we were at, but we walked by Ocean on the boardwalk to get down there.
AC
or
Dolls
up there.
closed down, but that was a cool club. It's like that little corner club.
I was bummed that I had to pay like $20 to get in. I didn't have any fucking money.
20's a fucking steal, man.
I was like, I'm not gonna get any lap dances. Like, why the fuck do I gotta? I was like, can I just hang outside and smoke cigarettes? And then like, you guys meet me out, and they're like, nah, it's. I was being a fucking fag.
Stingy.
I was being a douche.
I
But
don't
I had
wanna
no
talk
money.
to
I was making
girls.
like $8.50 an hour. I'm like, that's 3 hours of dumping trash cans for me to just walk in the door. Like, fuck
Yeah,
you.
but you smell like stripper afterwards, and it's kind of.
I didn't like it. Like, I was just like, I get nervous around chicks, and I just have like naked chicks coming
Yeah,
over
but
to
you
me,
can
and I'm like,
pay them to degrade themselves, which is like it completely
I had like
levels the playing.
$17 in my pocket.
They
like,
would still fucking do something like just. Like, I have $17. What's the grossest thing you can do?
I get the appeal, but like I just clammed up and like I literally just sat there the whole time and like I watched, but like my buddies were like, you know, putting fucking dollars in the undies and like you making it rain, and I was just like, I just felt so out of place, and we were like the only people there, and then there was just like some shady looking Indian dudes on the other side of the bar that like weren't spending any. It was they're probably like the owners or something, like the silent partners, but. It was just uncomfortable. Like it was a Tuesday or Wednesday night. It was the B team, and like there was no one there. And these girls were like, they were putting in the extra effort. Like that rent was due the next night. Like they were really fucking trying. And it just, I don't know why it was like off putting. It just seemed like degrading in a sense. Like I was just like, I don't like. Yeah, Joe was like loving it. He's like, this sounds like a great strip club night.
That's fucking awesome, man. I know exactly the club
like,
you're talking about too, which is fucking even better.
I felt like weird, and then like this completely buck naked chick sat down next to me, and I was just like, huh. Like I was so, I was like nervous. And
ma'am, you are.
I was
your
real
genitals
Hank Hill.
are exposed. You just turned into
She
Hank
was
Hill.
friendly, and I was just like, I've never been to a strip club before, and she was just like sitting there like shooting the shit with me, and I just wanted to be. I literally wanted to be like, can you like put a shirt on and can we just like fucking talk? Like I was so like
you're Steve Carell.
I was
in
just
The Big
like
Short.
Yeah, I was just like looking away, like what the fuck, dude.
You ever seen The Big Short?
No.
So Steve Carell's trying to pump. He's trying to figure out how bad the Florida housing market is. So he goes to a strip club to talk to the stripper because they all have mortgages. And he's like getting a lap dance, and this chick's got her tits in his face. He's like, "Can you just stop doing that? I need to ask you questions."
Literally me. Like I'm enjoying this conversation, but you're fucking.
You have
tits
such a
hanging
nice
out.
personality.
Yeah, literally. Like I just.
Well, the grossest thing I've ever seen.
I didn't want to spend money, and I was just like, this is to me, like the way my mind works, it's like if I'm going to spend money, I'd rather just get a hooker and get my dick sucked. Like I don't
do that though.
But you're gonna spend way more in a stripper to do that than some.
Absolutely not. What are you
Okay.
talking? You're jumping
But I'm-
through so many hoops to get a decent hooker, or you're getting like $40
I've never
for a
done
toothless
either. I would
blowjob.
be too nervous to get a hooker too. But I'm like, to me, I'm like the stripper thing. It's like I'm paying money to get blue balls. Like Pornhub's a thing. Like I don't need to fucking.
It's not what they do. Like they'll take care of you.
But you
man.
get kicked out if you come in your pants.
No,
like,
you can. Yeah, if you come in your pants, if they're sucking your cock, they just are like, all right, business is complete. Go on your merry
How
way.
many times have you gotten laid from a strip club?
Yeah, like 3.
How many times have you been to a strip club?
Hundreds.
Yeah,
hundreds.
so this is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like that's
dude.
not going to work out for you most of the time.
No. How many strip clubs have I been to? Like 8. I've been to like 8 strip clubs. Have I been to those strip clubs multiple times?
Yeah.
A ton of times. Have I fucked the same women from those strip clubs because it's like, you got $40? Yeah, come upstairs. Like,
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
bro,
But
like it's one of those ones where just don't be a fucking fat weirdo. Like, it's really just don't be.
That is
don't,
me, though.
Don't be black or brown. Don't like gawk at them. Don't fucking be trying to be overly flashy without a bankroll. There's just like things
that
to
was the
do.
thing. I didn't have the bankroll.
Yeah, like there's like things
it's
to
just
do.
like,
Go in there,
I have
look low key.
$17 and I'm not willing to spend it. Like I'm spending this on 2 24-ounce cans on the 24-hour liquor store when we leave here. Like I'm just like,
Well, one of the best is like this was Bear Exposures, but they have a BYOB, and me and these fucking like hood rat fucking blood gangbangers who were down like on vacation. I think I told you about this before when I was in AC, like for the UFC fight. There was a UFC fight. It was a big one. It was like Anderson Silva or something like that. It was a few years ago. It was the fight before he broke his leg, and I forget who he fought, but it was like McGregor or something like that. Anyway, Anderson Silva, like everywhere in AC is like, we're not fucking paying that pay-per-view. It's a fucking huge pay-per-view. Sure enough, Bear Exposures, $50 cover, cheaper than buying the pay-per-view for yourself. They just have a 2-drink minimum, which is like get 2 fucking
extra
dog shit.
$20 or whatever.
Yeah, dude. So it was like I paid for the price of buying the fight. I got 2 drinks and to see thousands of titties. Like for like
I totally get the appeal.
but here's the thing. Here's what it is. I didn't go in there and be like, I'm at the strip club. I'm going to try and be like a strip club patron. I'm going to walk up and be like, hi, ma'am. Like, I'll get a lap dance and then go. Like, it's like, no. I came in here. I was like, where's the TV with the UFC? They were like, out there. It's on the smoking deck. And then I went out there. They have a little
That's
thing.
perfect.
They have
You're
a
out
little
there
thing.
just hacking
They have a
darts,
little
dude.
thing set up where it's a bar that you buy your beer through a window. They have a fire pit because it was like the winter. The propane, like those cylinder things, where they have it somehow rigged next to a stripper pole so that the girls can come outside and dance outside while you're smoking cigarettes and watching the fight. So like it was,
Heated stripper poles and shit.
dude. Like it was the perfect thing. But then me and like all these like fucking black gangbanger dudes like started getting chummy because they were out there smoking. I'm out there watching the fight. They're like, hey, what's up? What you doing? I was like, man, I think fucking one of the dudes like Gaethje or something like that. His fight was on. I was like, dude, this Gaethje guy can fucking brawl. And they're like, man, you follow this shit too. Like, yeah, this fucking next fight's gonna be the shit. It's these 2 chicks. They know what they're doing. Like, and then they had my app up. Like I was like handicapping the fight or whatever. And they're like, yeah, bet on this guy. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, and we started getting chummy, and they're like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but like it's a BYOB here too. Like we just bought a case of beer. Like you're buying beer from the window. You want to come in with us? We have a couple of beers that we'll give you. And I'm like, yeah, not a problem, man. And they were like trying to give me money and shit. I was like, nah, I got money. Don't worry about that. Like, but it was like we're just watching this chick upside down shooting ping pong balls out of her fucking twat on the fucking pole up in the air like 6 feet, and it's like the most unlikely fucking friends. I'm cheersing all these fucking hood rat dudes with like Cuban fucking flag hats on and shit. It was the best time ever. It was awesome. Like
That's something like that's so your thing.
yeah, it's so foreign to like most
You're
people.
like in this instance, you're like Bert and I'm like Tom. Like I'm like I just want to go back to the room and like watch it on my own TV and be alone. Like I would never strike up a conversation with fucking strange. Not even gang. Just they could be fucking white dudes with sweaters. Like I don't really talk to strangers. You know what I mean? Not like stranger danger, but it's like
Yeah.
They might like in the grocery store. Someone will start talking to you. Like I'm bailing out of that fucking conversation as quickly as I can. I'm not going to become chummy with someone. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, yeah.
we're just polar opposites there. But yeah, it
was like when
only
we were-
been one time. And my buddy's getting married in October, and we were originally going to do Vegas, so I'm sure I'd have to go there. But we're going, which I'm glad. We're going to like Lake Harmony, Pennsylvania, or something. It's up near the Poconos, and we're going to do like paintball, go-karting, whitewater rafting. Like it's going to be fucking way more my speed. Standard bachelor party shit is just like I'm not gonna go cheat on my girl with a stripper. Like, it's just like, which most guys on these trips are trying to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not
highly suggested. It's fucking awesome. It's fantastic. Go for it.
It's just
I got popped by a stripper one time on my way to Casey's house. I stopped at the men's club so that I could get a fucking chub before I had to go fuck her. Anyway, I was at the fucking club and the girl giving me a lap dance.
Degenerate.
The girl giving me a lap dance was like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "I'm going to my girlfriend's house." She's like, "What's your girlfriend's name?" I was like, and she's like, "Wait a minute," and said her last name. And I was like, "Yeah, how do you know?" She's like, "I went to high school with her."
That was gonna be my guess.
And she's like, "I'm gonna call her." And I'm like, "What? No, don't do that." Sure enough, by the time I get to her house, she's like, "Oh, so we went to the men's club, did we?"
You say you got popped by her, like she jerked you off?
Actually, I don't remember. I got a private dance from her. I know that much.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, but that was back in Scumbag Joe days. I would probably not do that if I was in a committed relationship. I didn't go as far as
it's not even that like I wouldn't go because you have to go for the bachelor party thing. But like when you're saying like, dude, you can pay him $40 and get your dick sucked. Like, I am in a long-term relationship with my son's mom. Like, it's just, I'm not even just like saying this for appearances. Like, I'm like Bert. Like, I don't cheat on my girl. So it's just
I'm saying this for appearances too. I absolutely cheat on every fucking woman that I've dated.
I respect it. Like,
except Sonya somehow. Like, I didn't have the opportunity.
I'm a complete beta cuck. Like,
I'm not an alpha. I'm just a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, no. But if you were in a relationship right now, you wouldn't be saying that probably.
You're right, but I also I don't care at this point. You're going through the thralls of like. I'm sorry to bring this up. We've got like 15 minutes.
Married dude, fucking just like it's not. Even when I was single though, like it just wasn't my fucking thing. Like.
I don't know. I've never taken women seriously. I was just gonna say I've never taken women seriously enough to like be like, yeah, you're interchangeable. Like, don't be so fucking disposable. And then like maybe I would fucking give you like a little bit more credit and like a little bit more respect. But it's like, no, the second you start breaking my balls, I'm like, I'm gonna go do what I do in your mouth in someone else's mouth, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, no, I respect that too, but it's not even that. It's just like if you were like, do you want to go like to the strip club tonight, or do you want to go like me, you, and Johnny go bowling? It's like I'd rather go like bowling with the bros than go see like fucking whores shake their tits.
Strip club doesn't have to be like a go with the boys, or we could go bowling and then I'll just go to the strip club after.
That's what I'm saying. I'll go home.
Two birds stoned at once.
Watch a DVR of yesterday's NASCAR race. Like, I'm a very simple man.
There's a place in New Orleans that you can go where it's like a private bowling alley where you can't. It's like not like a bunch of lanes next to each other. It's like you get a tournament style.
Personal stripper.
Yeah, you rent them like bowling shoes. People do bachelor fucking parties in there because you get your own private 2 lanes, and they'll bring like strippers and they'll be like in their fucking the Snapchats.
I'm size 10, and I'll take number 14, the blonde there. Private.
Hey, no fluids on the fucking lanes. I just oiled that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But
yeah, this has been fun delving into the seedy underworld of strip clubs with Joe.
Well,
I'm obviously, like I said, I'm very well versed.
I got one more story about him. When I went to Delilah's one time, I watched some chick almost get human trafficked.
Have you ever been to Coconuts? Have you heard of Coconuts?
No, which Coconuts?
It's closed down. It's in Atlantic City. It's closed down, but apparently it was like the seediest one in Atlantic City. The pink
one on Pacific that's like, it was AC Dolls for a while.
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I think Coconuts was actually like in town, not like near the strip. Like it was like in the hood.
Oh, okay.
It was like where like a Cedar fucking food market would be. Like it was like in the hood.
Never saw.
Yeah, I'd never been. I just heard stories. Johnny used to talk about that one.
Really?
I don't know if he actually went, but he worked in Atlantic City for years, and I think he just heard stories about the place.
That's the other thing,
like,
too.
Raunchy.
When you work around places like when I worked for the law firm, that actually, the men's club in Raleigh was like one of those places where I could go take a piss. Like if I really, like I had to take a dump on the clock or whatever, it's like, hey, I got like 10 minutes. I mean,
dude, I could take a shit. Some girl behind me shaking her tits right there while I'm taking a shit.
Not even like that. I would just be like in full uniform. I would just be like, hey, I recognize you. Hey, you know me. Like, can I go pee real quick? They're like, yeah, go for it. Like, it's super cool.
If you're a regular patron, you're spending money in there.
But there was this one time, I gotta go after this. I gotta go work.
But too, I'm scared to check my phone.
So there was this one time I was at Delilah's, and that's the place with the money trowel that I went to, and there was a girl, and Lee and Seamers are going to be the only ones, shout out, that get this reference. But in the movie
fellas.
Escape from New York, there's a character, it's like this guy that has like a blonde blowout, and he's like a real gaunt, like skinny, like kind of looks like a heroin addict or something like that. His like face is all like, distended and whatnot. But he's like this guy, and he has like a couple lines in the movie, but he hands the president's finger to, because like they kidnap the president. That's the whole premise of the movie. He hands the president's finger to Kurt Russell, and he's like, your guys come in, he dies. If you stay here too long, he dies. And like, if you don't immediately leave, he dies. And it's like, well, we're gonna, like, they're trying to set the grounds, like their terms for the negotiation or whatever. So fucking Kurt Russell's got like a SWAT team, like whatever, that's the transparent, and then he's like the secret guy or whatever. I don't know why I'm hung up on Escape from New York right now, but anyway, the guy that hands fucking Kurt Russell the finger, you can look him up. He's got this like face that he makes, like when they all run away, he just makes this like kind of like, but this chick looked exactly like that guy. One of the dancers looked exactly like that guy.
In a flattering way, or in a
she was very attractive, but like she very much looked like
this is long lost daughter.
Yeah, probably. Like that guy was in makeup. This chick like had just been beaten down by life. Like,
it's weird that you say that, but you also say she was very attractive.
I'm not saying that there wasn't a little bit of fucking rough there, but that's why lawnmowers exist. You can fucking weed whack that shit down. Trim her up a little bit. Hey, you know what? Now I think
you like them a little rough around the edges.
I love them a little fucking rough around the edges.
It's a thoroughbred right there. They've been through some shit.
Dude, absolutely. Someone with a little fucking mileage on there doesn't mean that the car don't run good. Like, just fucking...
Runs like a fucking
just
top, baby. It's like a fucking 92 Corolla, dude.
Change the oil every now and then. Fucking make sure you rotate the tires. Kick them a few times. How we doing?
Oh!
So this chick was like... I was staring at her just because I'm like, you look like a fucking movie person. And like...
She's like, oh, I get that a lot.
Yeah, Escape from New York. Hey, you touching me dies. No, she was like clearly like having a horrible conversation with this fat fucking Puerto Rican guy at the end of the bar who was just like fatly like, you are so pretty, I want to take you home, and like she's just like, oh, all right,
she's doing what she can for the fucking $12.
Can you buy me a beer? Okay, thank you. Oh, you're doing so sweet. Like, touching his knee and what, like, but like doing the bare minimum. I can see she's like clearly off put. So she's looking at me because she sees me looking at her, not realizing
she's like, save me.
Yeah, and she kind of gives me like the save me eyes, and the bartender realizes what's going on, and she's like, I could get her to talk to you if you want. I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, it was like, I just wanted to buy you a drink. It looked like you needed like a break from that guy. And she's like, yeah, it's very sweet of you. How you doing? I was like, I'm good. And I was like, what time do you get out of here? Just like, not like, what time do you want to get out of here with me? Like, what time do you go out of here so you can get away from that guy? Just because I'm like, gonna be like, yeah, you're almost there. Like, like, whatever. So she tells me, and she's like, yeah, but I can like duck out if I want to. And like, I made my money for the night. It's like, all right, you should do that or whatever. So I buy her a drink. She takes her drink or whatever. She's like, thank you for the drink. I'm gonna go back over to them because he's like staring at us now. And I kind of make small talk with the bartender again for a sec, and I look over. And this guy now has his wallet out on the bar and is pulling out $100 bills, going, I have more money than that fat idiot over there. Just like literally like illustrating how much more money he has than me. And I go, cool, bro. She's not gonna go home with you. And he's like, watch, and like tries to fucking give her a handful of money. She takes and just left. Nice. But like he thought she was gonna like fucking like be like, oh yeah, like I'll take that money, we can go upstairs. Like no, she just like took the money and was like, all right, peace,
Thanks.
bitch. Like I saw her walk around the fucking thing in like the sweatpants and the sweatshirt and everything. I was like, good shit, dude. I mean, also she was hammered, like she was like really drunk, and
gets in her car and peels
immediately
out.
Got into her fucking
Hell
Impala, which was missing a fucking tail.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, fun shit. All right,
that's the horror story angle where I'm like, you're not gonna get laid by a stripper. Like I know a kid who he spent like $2,400, and this chick was just egging him on all night, and he got no cheeks at all.
How did she do it? Like, what was her?
She was slow rolling him.
No,
like
but like,
another
what was
400.
What was her angle though? Like, did he have a private dance or
VIP room?
No, never do that.
She was saying like, yeah, well, fuck or whatever, and she was slow rolling him like another 400, like for sure, and she got him to pull out 400 6 fucking times and got him for $2,400. He was hammered.
Yeah,
and yeah. Well, and I was just like, that's where I heard that, and I'm like thinking, you're obviously saying the opposite, where like you can for sure get laid at a strip club, which I believe, but I'm saying like I've heard people say like they've been taken for a ride by strippers who are just
well, because
that's the game though.
Yeah,
that's what you're kind of paying for.
I think I have a little bit too much like service industry blood in me, where I'm like, they are ultimately service industry, like they are fucking cocktail waitresses on their fucking paychecks and whatnot. Like that's how they get around everything. But what I'm saying is like just like kind of know how to talk to them, and like
the kid in question is a complete tool bag.
That's why.
And he was probably trying to flex his money.
Oh, absolutely.
He's a big. He would be that Puerto Rican dude pulling out hundreds and being like, I got fucking money. So yeah, kid's a fucking douchebag. So he had it coming. So yeah, you're a personable guy, so I could totally see you pulling it off. So come see the Joey this weekend at Bear Exposures. I'll be
I'll be headlining at Bear Exposures. I'm going to be in the parking lot sucking your dick for $40. And in the meantime, if you want to come see me work, Oceanside Seafood, 25th and Dune, Avalon, New Jersey.
If you need any work done to your house, give my boy Stu a call. Stewart's Handyman Service, 609-338-9427. Great work, great price, and a great guy. So shout out to Stu.
Anyone else?
I can't think of anyone, so let's wrap.
Right on. Thanks for listening. Go fuck yourself. Happy Memorial Day.
Love you guys.